Well, Caroline Cagle, it is such a joy to have you. I was there when you were born. I mean, it was like so amazing. So your mother and I, well, your dad too, but your mother and I have been very, very close friends. So unbelievable. Like it's been a long time ago. Probably I met her, it would probably be 34 years ago.
Wow.
I met your mom. And so it was, we were at a powerful Sunday school class. We were at church together, and we had a big group of us that were all in young adults. And so we became just best buds hanging out of your mom and your dad. And when they first got married and
Wow, yeah.
everything, it was just like so powerful. So then years later, we all kind of moved, do different things. We had several close, really close friends, and then we kind of moved away, and everybody's raising their families and everything. And we circled back together, four of us that were friends over 30 years ago. And one of our good friends was going through a really hard time. And we all circled back together, that we were all in that young adult, young married class. And we began praying for her and kind of reconnected and started traveling together. So we do a little travel. And so when a lot of your story that you're going to share, I was praying with your mom through this. And so the story kind of came through her and all of us praying and standing in the gap for you. And I would see you from time to time and get pieces from you, but mainly the majority of it had come through, praying and standing with your mom and dad in the story. And so I just wanted you to kind of talk before everything kind of got really hard in your life. But you grew up in a Christian home.
Yes, definitely. Went to church almost every Sunday, all the vacation Bible schools, church on Wednesdays, all of that. And, that was great. I'm so thankful for that because even like this is something that's so, I'll just carry it with me forever. But every day on the way to school, my mom in the car putting on the armor of God, full armor of God. So those and I don't even know if she realizes it, but that stuck with me for a long time. But it took me a while to take it seriously and to really connect with it. It was just kind of something, we did. And also all the things of the world I wanted to do, what I wanted to do. So it took a while for it to click for me, but.
So tell me a little bit about your growing up in church, and like you said, like more of a casual Christian and not really like had a real encounter with God, but you were just going to church, being with your family and being raised well, and a good environment. And you had a family that really, really, really loved you and just loves you.
Yes.
and really is your biggest cheerleader. And so
Absolutely.
That's been so awesome. But how did you, what was your mindset and how, when you were in high school, college, so like where was your choices and lifestyle like?
I think even going back to like middle school, just, I've always had a lot of emotions and just been someone that, and I didn't really know what to do with them. Like, I would very, keep them all inside. And so once I got into like, maybe 8th grade towards the end of middle school, is when, partying kind of got involved. So just like drinking and, smoking and things like that. And that kind of numbed everything for me, all the big feelings that I was feeling, a lot of just anxiety. And so that kind of numbed things for me. But, once that wears off, it's even worse.
Right.
So just throughout high school, starting in around 8th grade, kind of drinking a little bit, having fun with friends. But then throughout high school, it kind of got worse. And so, that would end up being, my confidence and just what would relieve me. And yeah.
Normally when we're in this process of you're starting to make bad decisions, bad relationships, like, it starts kind of expanding by life, that's kind of really how it usually unfolds. Never starts usually with a bang. It's like a slow fade. It just keeps adding to it and adding to
Definitely.
it. And but usually in there's some enemy lies that you buy into. So when did you feel like that you started really believing the enemy's lies, and maybe what were they in the beginning?
That's a good question. I feel like the enemy was talking to me a lot at a young age. And a lot of those lies were that I'm not good enough, or I feel too much, or maybe I'm just too much.
Wow.
And, just those feelings of like being misunderstood, he really took that and ran with it. And yeah, just in a lot of lies about my outward appearance. I mean, being a young girl, and like there's already from society so much that you're seeing on, social media at this time, and like TV. And so just also a lot of lies about like, being perfect in like my body. So that was really hard too.
So you dealt with some eating disorders.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me a little bit about that.
So, and I think before even I realized it, at a very young age, I would start to run with my dad, a family thing. It was a good thing, and I would just take it to an extreme. And my dad, who still to this day runs every night, he's very healthy and determined. I would just take it
disciplined.
So disciplined.
Yeah.
It's inspiring. But I would take it to an extreme where he would go inside, and probably like 10 years old, and I'd be like, I'm going to stay out here and run. And I would run and run. I remember neighbors would be like, are you in cross country or something? And like, it turned into this thing where it was like, no, I have to run. And now I have to like.
Obsessive.
Yes, very obsessive.
Wow. And so doing all this with the eating disorder, was your family aware of that?
No.
Wow. So that was able to ride under the radar.
I think so much of it rode under the radar for so long until it finally couldn't anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you, from processing from high school and in college, now you're away from family and you went to LSU.
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit, did everything just continue to escalate, or how
Very
was that?
much so.
Okay.
So, and like I said, I grew up going to church every Sunday and having that like strong family to, help guide me. But then you go off to LSU, you're not seeing your parents anymore.
Right.
You have that freedom, that sense of you can do whatever you want. And, at first it was fine. I still did great in school. So I think that's another reason why so much, flew under the radar. I kept a good outward look, but inside, it escalated. The drinking, I mean, every single night.
Wow.
Every single night
Really?
in college. I would go to class the next day. It'd be 2 p.m. and I'm still drunk.
Wow.
And, I know that that's wrong. I knew that. And so then it's all the shame that like comes with that. And then I'm like, oh, well, I'm kind of gaining weight because of this. So it's like a spiral, like, oh, I got to stop eating as much.
So one triggers the other.
Yes.
Wow.
Very much so.
So with all this escalating, so what's your peer group? Are they all doing the same thing? Or,
Yeah.
So the girls that you're living with and you're running with, this is all everyone that's involved.
Yes. And I think, to an extent, maybe not so much. But because they were drinking, I'm like, oh, well, they're doing it too. But I was always the one and I don't think I wanted to look at this for a very long time, but I was always the one, doing it more without even really realizing
Almost kind of like what
it.
you did with your dad.
Yes.
Like running, but yet you're going to take it another level.
Yes.
Wow.
Without even like being conscious about it. But yeah, just, it's like that obsessive, like just, yeah.
So tell me, so surely because of this level of the way you were doing this, especially like you were saying every night, even like the average college student that's not making good choices is not doing it every night. You know what I mean? So to know that it is to that extreme, surely there had to be some toxic relationships.
Oh, definitely so. And, there was a big main one. There was a lot of, relationships that didn't have a label that were just very like worldly. And, but then, sophomore year of college, so probably 2019, around that time, right before COVID, I started dating someone and it got serious very fast. And he was doing the same things that I was doing, but on a larger scale, different things.
Okay.
So, he had an Adderall script and smoked a lot more than me. And it was a explosive combination, us being together.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, so needless to say, just a lot of the young people that are around, having my own children, but a lot of the young people, like even through work or different things that come across, that there was such a spirit that a demonic spirit of anxiety and depression that really rode in with COVID. And you see it you saw it literally from one person to the next. It was just really unbelievable. So tell me how, with all of this that you were dealing with, and then COVID happens and you have this isolation and then just that whole dynamic. So how did everything begin to get worse or spiral?
So when COVID hit, a lot of things, just within my family, and I won't get into it too much, but a lot of family stuff was happening as well. We weren't together. I really felt that alone isolation before COVID even really started.
Yeah.
With my family and what I was already dealing with.
And then if you're in a toxic relationship, you're pulling away.
Oh, yes.
And if you are doing this every day, then you can't be with them as much or they're going to know. So
exactly.
That already, the enemy wants to isolate you. And then on top of that.
Yes. And then on top of that, COVID happens. I'm obviously not going to go home with my parents. So I stay with my boyfriend. Me and him, it's already terribly toxic relationship, but really complete isolation. And I mean, like, it's lockdown. You can't really even leave your house. So it's me and him. Like, we even went out to Toledo Bend for a while. So at his family's camp, literally just me and him, alcohol, drugs. There's nothing in Toledo Bend besides like a Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Continuing to spiral at this time.
The anxiety, this is when the anxiety got so intense. Like the constant, like, just unwanted, like, thoughts, and just, it was starting to manifest physically into panic attacks, and just all this anxiety was building up that I had never dealt with. I couldn't slow down, felt out of control, and still just kept going.
Okay.
And yeah.
Wow. So then later after graduation, you come home and you're not doing well.
Right.
And then you made some decisions to go somewhere to get some help.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
So, and I won't go into this too much, but also at that time, I lost one of my best friends
Right.
in a very tragic way, right around graduation time.
Right before you come home.
Yes.
Yes.
So that really was very, very difficult on top of everything else. But anyway, so it finally got to a point where I needed help, and I actually checked into a mental health facility. And before I could find a place to go to get not just substance abuse help, but also with the mental.
Yeah.
And
And your
so-
family was very supportive of this, and
very supportive.
Yes.
And that's kind of what, brought it to the forefront. Like,
And you were having to be
this is-
honest how you really been doing.
yes, this is actually what's been going on, Mom and Dad.
Wow.
This is actually how I feel. And I felt this way for a really long time.
Goodness.
And so I can't even imagine for my parents how much of a shock
Yeah,
this
because you're
is.
thinking, oh, my daughter's graduating and
doing
she's
so
ready to
good.
fly.
Straight
Yeah.
A's. Like,
Wow.
I mean, outside, amazing. Inside,
A mess.
yes. But so I did decide, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need to be honest with my mom and dad, and so supportive. And they helped get me into a treatment center out in Oxford, Mississippi. So I was there for 60 days. And it was great. It was really great. Also to be away from all of what I was surrounded by, and to be sober, but also I got put on a lot of medications there. I was on, they put me on over 12 different medications for anxiety, depression, OCD, you name it.
Wow.
From not being on anything before.
12 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. So
And then if you do any drinking or any other thing with those meds, it's really bad.
yeah.
On top of it.
And
if
like
you
all
come
of
back.
these different meds.
Yeah.
It's not just one. It's all of these are, yeah.
So you get back
I
and
get back, and honestly, it didn't take too long for me to be like, I'm fine.
Wow.
Mom, Dad, I'm actually gonna move to Houston, like in like 2 days. So what I had done is immediately I'm texting the ex-boyfriend who, I have my own issues, so does he, but it was that enable codependent relationship. And so I text him almost like a few months, like maybe if even that, of getting out of rehab, and find an apartment online, sign the lease that week. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I'm actually moving with my boyfriend to Houston like tomorrow. And they're like, you can't do this. We just helped you go to rehab. Like, you just don't do this. And me being hard-headed, I did it.
Wow.
So
And then you went into a long span of isolation from the family.
extremely, yeah.
Was that your choice, y'all's choice together? Like, where'd that come from?
I think, I think my mom had tried so hard. And she also knows me, like I'm very stubborn. And finally, I think she was like, I got to give this more to God. And because the more I try and help my daughter, the more she runs from it. And I just got to let her go through this. And so.
And you're a daddy's girl too, mom and daddy's girl together.
Yes.
But so how's your dad responding to all of this?
I think he's very confused. He wants, to be there for me, but at the same time, it's hard for him to see his daughter
And
go
you got
through all this.
And you got a good job. So you're over there working, and I wouldn't say thriving because you have all this on the back end,
Right.
But you look from the outside like you're a good again.
Yeah, like great job. I'm like, Mom, Dad, it's gonna be fine. Like, we were definitely isolated, barely texting and talking, but I wanted to show them and assure them I could do it. Like, I can do this.
My way.
My way. Of course, like, it's fine. I learned a lot in rehab. I have the strength. I didn't. Very quickly relapsed into old behaviors, way worse than before. So, and also you're in a new city. You don't even have friends or family. So, yeah.
No one there to check on you, to hold you accountable or anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So needless to say, you're taking a lot of meds. You're not doing well.
No.
You have work. You have everything going on. The toxic relationships, worse and worse. And so you start having some bouts over, and so parents had to go over there and help you. Things not good, kind of back and forth, back and forth. But I want you to tell me about, before I want you to tell me what happened. That was the major crossroad there of, I want you to tell me where you were spiritually right before it got the worst. Like, where were you?
So, you know, I felt like I was trying to do all this inner work on my own in this therapy. And, you know, I'm trying to go to therapy. Like, I was really trying to do all of these things. But spiritually, I wasn't doing it without God. It was like all of the shame of the mistakes that I had made. Oh, the enemy uses all of that to be like, you can't go back to that. Like, you think he's going to want you?
Wow.
Like, so
I always say that the enemy tempts you, and then when you do it, he taunts you.
Yes.
He's a tempter and a taunter, like over and over again. He lures you, tempts you.
Right around.
And then, then mocks you and makes fun of you in your brokenness.
Yeah. And I did believe that lie of like, you can't like go back. Like, so
what do you feel like? Why did you feel like you stayed in the toxic relationship?
You know, a lot of different reasons. A lot of it was fear of being, not even just being alone, but yeah, I think being alone and having to face everything that I had been running from for so long, things that I haven't confronted. And also like, yeah, just a lot of fear.
And he already knew you.
Yeah.
Okay, Caroline, I know you've been in this toxic relationship for a long time. You've been on these meds now for a good while, and you're still not in a good headspace at all, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, everything. So there was some times that I know from your mom that they had to go see you and check on you. There were some things really getting out of hand. So I want you to tell me about that.
Yeah. So things were just getting worse and worse. How I was living my life was just detrimental to my physical, spiritual, mental health, literally everything. And so there were times where I found myself having to be hospitalized 5 times in less than a year. And the last 2 times were probably the scariest. But, you know, the last time was the scariest, but the most transformative, and when my life changed.
And the enemy came to kill you that day.
Yeah, he was trying to take me out, for sure. My mom was actually in town, and, you know, it was December 19th. I remember the dates still, which is crazy. I remember the dates. It was December 19th. My mom had come in town on the 18th. We had, you know, had dinner together, and I was in such a dark place. And I remember at dinner, and we still talk about it every now and then, and we're just like, wow, like the transformation. But I was just telling her, I was like, Mom, it's time to go. It's time for me to go. And she's like, Caroline, what are you talking about? Like, and I'm like, Mom, I just know, like, I'm not supposed to be here anymore. Like, just talking very in such a dark place. So the next day is December 19th. I had off work. My mom had come to pick me up, and I was going to spend Christmas with my family in Lake Charles. So we were about to, get up, get dressed, hit the road. And I didn't wake up. I was in kind of like a catatonic state of pretty much my body, it just shut down from all the things that I was going through mentally, just like the intrusive thoughts, everything. And I would not wake up, and my sweet mom is like freaking out. She's like, I don't know, I'm unconscious, but I'm hearing all of this. Like I hear her call the ambulance because she could not get me up. And it was like I was literally stuck, like almost a paralysis type. So I hear her just like, she's calling the ambulance. She's like, I don't know if my daughter took something. Like, y'all need to come here now. She will not wake up. I don't know if she's breathing. And I remember the ambulance coming to get me, and they had to pull me out of my bed. And they had to take me in the ambulance to the hospital. This is Christmas time. We were supposed to go that day to, and my mom is just like a mess. Like I can hear all this going on, like even though I wasn't responsive. Wow. And so I remember I was in the stretcher. They take me to the hospital. I'm in the hospital room, and my eyes are closed this whole time. But inside, I'm just like, God, like, I can't do this anymore. Like,
You're battling.
I am battling like such a deep spiritual battle that I can't even, put into words. But just, I'm pleading with God to save me because I can't do this anymore. I can't take the pain. I'm saying, I don't know what to do, but like, I need you to save me right now. Just like, take me. I didn't want to live anymore. And so I was asking him to bring me home, take me. And it's so crazy because I remember him literally, I felt his spirit. I felt him walk into that hospital room, and he was like, just let go, Caroline. He's like, you don't have anything to be afraid of. Just don't be afraid. And I remember like being like, just stop being afraid. I remember being like, God, I don't know how. I'm talking back with him in my mind, and I'm like, I don't know how. I can't do this anymore. And he's like, he shows me exactly how. Immediately, like a switch, all the anxiety, all the fear, the immense darkness that was in my body, and just like, I felt this peace that I have never felt in my entire life wash over my whole entire mind, body, spirit. And I remember I didn't see his face, but I knew his spirit was right there, and he just took my hand and he held my hand and he's rubbing my hand, and I'm like, I was just at peace. And then I actually went to sleep, like, and I felt like I finally rested.
But even though you weren't awake,
I wasn't awake.
All this was going on.
All of this is
but
going
now
on.
you're,
and the doctors are like, we don't know if she's going to wake up. We don't know what's happening. Wow. They had to warn my parents, like, they don't know. And for 7 days I was asleep.
7 days? Wow.
Yeah. My parents, ended up having to go have Christmas with the whole entire family. They don't know what's going on with me. Because keep in mind, all of this is, I'm still not conscious. And finally, the day after Christmas, I woke up, and I was by myself in that hospital room. My parents are with all the other family. And I wake up and I felt like a new person. And I knew as soon as I woke up, I'm like, God saved me. God saved me. Like, I wanted to shout it through the rooftops. It was just like this knowing, this like
Just supernatural.
supernatural healing. Like, I was better than I had ever been in my life. And I will never be able to explain it because it is inexplainable. But yeah, a supernatural healing. And I stayed in the hospital for, a while. And it's so crazy because especially in hospitals and places like this, people in law enforcement, stuff like that, it's very rare, as many times as I went to the hospital, for someone to start speaking scripture over you or praying for you.
Right.
Multiple times during this hospital stay after I woke up, I'm having nurses come and check on me and they're like, would you like to pray together? And I'm like, it's like he was confirming he's like, yes, I'm right here. Yes, I'm right here.
He pursued you.
Yes. And I'm like, my mom came to the hospital, brought my Bible, and I dug into the word. And literally, like,
It's like you were hungry for it.
he put the hunger, he put the desire in my heart. Yeah. And so I was literally hungry. I was like starving for it. And I literally just devoured the word. I started talking to him and just like pouring my heart out. Like, yes, I prayed before this I grew up kind of knowing this, but the knowing that I had like received, like, it was just, yeah, it was crazy.
It was an encounter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did the doctor say after you woke up?
So I stayed in the hospital after I woke up for a while. Probably there, I think I left February 2nd. Really? I stayed in the hospital for a very long time, but in the mental, floor after that, instead of the ICU. And I mean, they even were like, you have changed like so much. Like, you have transformed. Like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I'm like, yeah. And so
what happened when you go home?
So when I go home, I really didn't know like what the doctors were saying during all this. My parents don't know what I experienced, right?
Yeah.
I haven't shared this with them. Also keep in mind, I had a job before this. Well, I'm gone for how long? This is not the first time this has happened. I quit my job. I have no fear. No, there's no fear. I used to have fear about everything.
Oh, come on.
I'm like, quit it.
Wow.
Let's quit. The relationship that I was in, I'm walking away from it. Like that. And I did
a knowing.
Yes,
a knowing.
And a strength that was not in me. But like a confidence that like, I know I'm supposed to do this. Like just amazing. And so finally, like a few days after I get home, my mom and dad are like, we want to sit you down and like tell you like, I don't know if you realize how long you were in the hospital. I don't know if you realize like they had to warn us that like if you wake up, like you might not be right, and that they really didn't know what was wrong. And so that kind of confirmed everything I already knew, like in the spirit. Like I already knew that, but I didn't hear that. Like they didn't tell me that. And I was like, I had a feeling. Let me tell y'all what happened to me. And so I tell them everything that I'm telling you right now, and like, just like tears, like just, I mean, the unity like that it brought me and my family together like no other. And like
just all this answered prayer, just like all at one time.
Prayer.
Yeah.
And after this, so I start going to, reading my Bible, like praying, fasting. Like I am like, I want this. Like I am here. Like I am yours.
you've tasted. You tasted and seen the Lord. Yeah.
And so I start going to church with my mom, and she's like, Caroline, like, she was showing me her Bible. I remember one day, and it's just all these prayers for me, and all of them answered. And I had no idea that, like, you know, she was praying for me like that, and like how the power of prayer is so strong. And yeah.
Wow. That is unbelievable. So tell me now, so now you're working a new job.
Yes.
And phenomenal. And you're doing great. You're on a great team and everything. And they, of course, think you are a rock star. And so tell me now, spiritually, how the Lord has fully transformed your life from where you were to where you are now, like moving forward.
So that was about, I want to say that was about 2 years ago, 2.5 maybe. And I really just gave it all to him and said, look, just lead me. Like, here's my life. Show me where to go. If I'm meant to stay in Houston, then that's where I'm meant to be. But I'm not going to stay here unless you tell me to. I'm not going to move anything or do anything until you tell me to. So, and that was like, prayer,
now it's full
fasting.
surrender.
Yeah, it is full. Like, everything is yours. I'm not like, I am like renewing my mind. I'm only in the Word. I'm not watching TV. I'm not like full surrender. That's all I wanted. Like, and he put that in me. Like, this was not me.
No religion, no. Religious spirit. No. Like, this is full relationship.
Yes.
And you're detoxing. That's basically what the Lord's doing. Gosh, he's detoxing you.
He is detoxing me from everything. And he is renewing me, like, so fully. But, so, anyway, I'm praying and fasting. And I'm like, I don't know. Do I stay? And he, all of a sudden I get this amazing job. And, you know, I get plugged into a church there. And so I'm volunteering and, but, you know, I think it's just for me, like that relationship, like it's a daily surrender. Even though he did save me, like it is a daily act of like sitting down and being in that quiet time with him and like constantly renewing my mind, because I'm telling you, like, even if, say I'm not in the Word for a few days, like I can feel that. Like so just really like
the weight of the world just trying to reattach, you know?
Yes. And just like life's busy. So the distractions and stuff. So just staying as like tied like to him as possible. Yeah, that's
wow. So I wanted to thinking about like kind of backtracking a little bit of where you are right now from full surrender, trusting the Lord. And I feel like he's still detoxing you, like because that was a lifestyle of toxicity, right? Yeah. And so, but I feel like going back to that place where you first started buying into those lies, no matter how old someone is, but when you first start partnering with the lies, and it may be with your identity or like the way that you look or being connected or not connected, or it could be luring you in some form, right? And some of these negative behaviors or stuff, they're learned maybe through family, and some of them that the enemy just come in and sideswipe you, just target you and come after you, right? Could be your peers, could be different ones. But I want you to look in that camera, and I want you to think of someone that's first buying into the lies, because that's where it starts, right? So at that point right there, I want you to speak to them when they're believing the lies and partnering with them, how dangerous it is at that point, and how to seek the Lord. So I'd like you to look in the camera and just speak life over someone that's been buying into those lies.
Yeah, I think it's easy to buy into the lies, but it'll take you so fast. And what you have to do, as soon as you start you're getting those thoughts, you're starting to believe them, you get on your knees and you ask God to come in and renew your mind. You open your Bible and you read what God says about you, that you are worthy, you are made in his image, and his grace, and it's free. His mercies are new every morning. So I don't care what you did yesterday or what you did a few minutes ago. You wake up and you accept his grace readily every single morning, and you keep going and you keep reminding yourself who God calls you, because his word is higher than anything. So, yeah.
That is so powerful, Caroline. I really appreciate you just being so open and vulnerable, and sharing your journey of really fighting for your mind in your own way. But I know, like how you say all the time, like, I was doing what I knew to do, and then it's just like quicksand. Then the enemy will just suck you in, and then you're just flailing. And at that point, and then how he always isolates you away from everyone, where they don't really know kind of how bad it is. And but how you know that what happened with you is not in your own strength. You know, that you're doing this because you're a good person, or I go to church, or I'm trying to be good, or I'm reading my Bible and I'm doing all this stuff because I'm good. Like, you know, without a doubt that God has a raw encounter and totally transformed your life, detoxing, healing, restoring you, setting your feet on solid ground, and saying, "Run, Caroline, I'm with you. And this is your new legacy," you know? And I'm just so thankful that you just sharing your story, because I know it's going to help so many people know that the real battle always starts in your mind, but taking authority and trusting the Lord and knowing you can't be good enough on your own. Only God can help you. And you can try a lot of different avenues, and doesn't mean that they won't numb or soften the blow. But just like we talked about how the enemy tempts you and then he taunts you. So even if you do those things to numb yourself, it's never enough. It's never enough. And then you have to do more of it and more of it, because then it doesn't numb like it did the first time. You know, so it's like that quicksand of luring you. And but this is what I love about, once you really know how to take authority in your mind and you learn how to worship through it, if you have a trigger or you have a thought, and what you do at that point, because I feel like that's what a lot of times people don't understand, is when you go through something and it worked, the enemy found an avenue that works, right? So he's always going to circle back around and work that thing. So even though you are in this amazing place right now and knowing, but you know where to watch your triggers, and you see those people aren't good for me, that's a toxic relationship I'm going to stay away from, or whatever, and you got to keep yourself connected and trust in the Lord, and knowing that you can't be unaware of the enemy's schemes. Like, you can't go put yourself back in those places and expect to walk in the freedom you have today. Yeah. And to know that God's leading you and guiding you. And now your family really knows, and that y'all are able to really support and be an encouragement and really fan the flame of what God did. Because God literally snatched you from the claws of the enemy, because he come for you that day. And I'm just so thankful that even in the dialogue where they're watching you thinking that you're totally out, but you have a whole conversation and a raw encounter with the Lord that they're totally unaware of, you know? And so that's what's so good, when God, he met you. And there's no one can talk you out of that. That's a knowing that you will carry deep inside of you, but that's your legacy to give to your children and your children's children, always to remember what God has done. And that's the power of the testimony. It means he'll do it again, right? So anyone listening to this podcast or hear your testimony at any given time, if God can do it for Caroline, God can do it for me. So that's the power of the testimony, is that he will do it again. So you may not be your same story, but if you're going through anything, this is what it is. You want to believe that God will rescue. He does heal. He does restore. And like you said, you're even better than what you were before.
Oh, yeah.
Like, That's what's so good. He brought
if you
you
call
back.
out to him, he's gonna answer.
I love
He
that.
is going to. So yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your heart. And thank you for these life altering words of encouragement for everyone that's listening.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're clear.